everyone, this is Melinda here for BNI Southeast, and I want to thank you once again for being part of our BNI family and for agreeing to help out with your chapter's Facebook page. Now, I know that we have some administrators that are very familiar with Facebook and how to use it because their job is marketing or advertising or social media. But for those of you that just use Facebook for a personal level or maybe use it for your business, but you may be wondering kind of what am I expected to do as a Facebook administrator? So I'm going to talk about kind of today ideally what your role entails and give you some ideas about that. So I'm going to be sharing my screen and showing you things as we go along. Okay, so here we are on the BNI Southeast page, which is approximately the same as your chapter Facebook page. And the first thing I want to mention is you probably notice up here at the top you can choose to post and comment as yourself or as the page. And you want to make sure that if you're speaking on behalf of the chapter, you post as the chapter. If you're speaking about a personal opinion or comment, you speak as yourself. I think you guys are doing that. It's kind of common sense. But one thing you may or may not be aware of is over here in the upper right-hand corner, you can use Facebook as the page. And what I like to do is I like to keep my setting on posting as myself here on the page. And then when I go to do work on the chapter page, if I want to respond or post something, I come up here and use Facebook as the page. The reason I do that is if I have this voice right here, posting and commenting set to the chapter, if someone else posts on the chapter page and I see it on my news feed and I click to like it, I'm liking it as the chapter, not as myself. Or if I want to comment, then the comment gets posted as the chapter page, not as myself. And sometimes it's inconvenient. I don't realize that. I forget it, and I have to come back here to the chapter page and change this voice. So the system that works for me is I just leave this setting on posting and commenting as myself. And then when I specifically sit down to update a chapter page, I come and use Facebook as the chapter. That way I can keep them kind of separated and I don't get messed up by using the wrong voice, which I have done in the past. I'm guilty of. So that's my tip about that. Your job as an administrator, of course, is to delete inappropriate content. You will find that your pages may get some spam from business people trying to promote their business. I wouldn't necessarily delete those unless it's obnoxious or uses foul language. That might be an opportunity to reach out to that person and invite them to visit your chapter. They're obviously trying to grow their business. So take the time to look at it and see if it's a local business. And even if it's not a local business, maybe you can help them find a BNI chapter in their neck of the woods, wherever they're from, if they're in a different state. But you do want to monitor for inappropriate comments, things that are ethically wrong, politically incorrect, racially slanted, anything like that. You want to monitor for that content. You're not going to see a whole heck of a lot of that. Another responsibility as a BNI administrator is to post photos and announcements. And I did get a question a couple weeks ago because someone posted on their page and then couldn't find their comment. Posts by others, you see, don't get as much notice on your timeline. Now, it's still going to show up in people's Facebook feeds, their news feeds of the fans of the page. It'll show up in some of their news feeds. But on your timeline, it's not highly visible. So if you post it on your timeline as the chapter, it's going to show up, the photo's going to show up bigger. It's going to be more noticeable in your timeline. And of course, you can click the star to highlight a post so that it spreads across your timeline, such as this. So, come on, highlight. Facebook seems to be there it goes. Okay, so I actually created this graphic for our Fan of the Month, and I made it specifically sized so that it would stretch across the page like that. And it has more visibility because I posted it as a page than if I'd posted it as myself. I have an example of this also, one of our chapters. They did this for their 10-minute presenter and included his website and a little bit about his business. One thing that I would build on this, and thank you for Graham Page for doing this. Obviously, he has some graphic design skill. You may not necessarily have the ability to make it look this nice graphically, but if you don't, that's okay. You can still do the same thing and include this information without it being, a nice stretched out graphic like that. I would build on this and say, post this a week ahead of time and include who you should invite to hear the 10-minute presenter speak. So that way it gives people notice, or maybe people that aren't even in your chapter. If you say a good referral partner for Harold is home inspectors, then somebody who's not even in your chapter, that might be a friend of somebody or a fan of the page, they may know a good home inspector that they could say, hey, you should come to this meeting because there's going to be a real estate attorney there that would be a good referral partner. So specifically saying who to invite, maybe one customer type and one referral partner type for your 10-minute presenter. And then also after they present, thank them for the information that they shared. Maybe there's one good tip that you could pull out that they shared and say, thanks for letting us know about XYZ. So that's how you can highlight a 10-minute presenter. But you don't have to limit it to that. Also celebrate people's birthdays, anniversaries, new babies, awards. I've seen congratulations on industry awards, on one of our photographers had an achievement, or our real estate agent got voted, best in the Keller Williams agency for a certain time period. Celebrate anything that you can like that, and always try to include a photo when you can. Photos get much more attention than plain text post. So I would encourage you to do that. And then also encourage your chapter members to participate. It's not all about you. If you're the only one interacting with your chapter page, it's not going to be an effective tool for you to help grow your chapter. This is an example, BNI Unifor Success Network chapter in North Carolina. This page actually only has 44 fans, so it's not a huge fan base. But you'll see that they've been posting pictures of their awards at the first of the month, their Notable Networker awards. And this particular picture, Marianne must be a popular person. She must be super nice because this post got 29 likes and 6 shares. And or 6 comments. And because of that, 121 people saw this post. So the more that a posting gets liked, commented, and shared, the more it will show up in people's news feeds, or the news feeds of friends on their homepage. That you can't do that alone. So you need to somehow motivate, maybe have a contest, I don't know, motivate your chapter members to get on Facebook if they're not on Facebook. If they are on Facebook, let them know we need you to like and comment on every single thing that you see posted by our page or one of our chapter members, because that's going to increase your visibility to other people on Facebook, and that's really what you're going after. So those are my tips so far for things that you could do as a BNI Facebook page administrator. And because I know we have short attention spans, I'm not going to try to cram it all into one video. I will be with you next week with the second half of this presentation for tips and ways that you can help with your Facebook page. Here's a quick recap of the tips that I've shared today. Number 1, use the appropriate voice, whether you're posting as the page or as yourself. Delete inappropriate posts. Post as many photos, celebrations, announcements, any good news that you can share, and use photos for that. And number 4, encourage your chapter members to interact with your chapter Facebook page. Thanks for taking the time to watch my video today. If you have any questions that I can help you with, please send me an email, belinda@bnisoutheast.com. And until next time, happy online networking.